In the last video, we looked at an equation in standard form, which was 2x plus 3y is equal to 6. And so that's what we have here. What I would like to do with this is take that same equation and solve it for y and see what it looks like. So to do that, we do our standard steps that we've been learning all along, which would be to isolate that y variable. So this says 3 times the y added to 2 times an x, and that equals 6. So to unpackage that, we do the opposite function in reverse order. So first we would then, let's do it this way, subtract 2x from both sides. Those cancel, and I'm left with 3y is equal to, now by convention, we're going to write the x term first. So negative 2x, that's a positive 6, so plus 6. And now to solve for y, we would divide both sides by 3. So what I'm going to do here is divide the individual terms by 3. So that's 2/3 of x plus, we'll divide that by 3, divide that by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now that we've solved for y, we have a new form of our linear equation. Up here, the standard form said ax plus by equals c. Now we have what's called the slope-intercept form of the linear equation, which states that y is equal to mx plus b, or it's pretty much the function notation, f of x is equal to m of x plus b, where m is the slope. And we'll talk about slope in a minute, but basically it's the change of y divided by the change of x. So it's the proportion. Delta is a Greek letter, and we use it to mean change. So the change of y divided by the change of x, that's m. And b is the y-intercept. See, if you were listening, you would have seen that I would tell you what the y-intercept, why that's important. And here it is. It's important because b, this whatever number this is, tells you where your slope, or where rather your line, will cross the y-axis. So we know from looking at the last video that this line crossed the y-axis at 2, and it also crossed the x-axis at 3. And so that's where the slope comes into play. If slope is the change of y over the change of x, then from this point 2, 0, 2 here, then the slope tells us that we went a negative 2 and a positive 3. So we went, I wish I could draw that bigger. Let's draw that bigger. Let's draw that bigger. So if I went up 2, and that's my y-intercept, right, is at 0, 2. Then our slope, our m, is equal to negative 2 over 3. That'll be the change of y over the change of x. So if I'm changing y by a negative 2, I'll go from here, I'll go down 2, and I'll go positive 3, because a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So I'll go over 2, 3. And if you recall from the last video, that was in fact what our line looked like. Notice this slope is negative. And notice that this line points in the directions of quadrant 2 and quadrant 4, which has opposite signs. Notice that the change can also go, this first went down and then over, and we'll talk about a little bit more about slope in another video. And this one went, I could also go just as easily go up, which is a positive direction, and back, which is a negative direction, and that would get me to the next point on my line. So that's a quick introduction to slope-intercept form. In another video, we're going to analyze exactly what slope means, get a little more in depth with it, and then look at more equations, linear equations.